this is a special edition of Explosive Exclusive coming in to you. We have now latest information coming in that the Enforcement Directorate had attached a property belonging to the Gandhis. Yes, this was belonging to the Associated Journals in Bandra in Mumbai. This is a 3,478 square meter property in Mumbai. And now, according to the details that we have obtained, this land actually was meant for a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe hostel. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll show you the documents, but a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe hostel was supposed to be built on the land, which then went on to become a private property of the Gandhis through the Associated Journals Limited. This was 3,478 square meters of land in commercial center of town Bandra East, that is where in Mumbai, worth crores and crores of rupees. Latest estimate from the Settlement Commission, which is always a bit lower than the market rate, is at the rate of about 262 crore rupees as assessed in July of 2017, and in 2020 now this land has been attached, and this is the copy of the report. This is a report of the one-man committee by Mr. Chatterjee. This was Mr. Chatterjee who completed the inquiry and submitted the inquiry report in the year 2018. The main findings of this inquiry report, which is in Marathi right here, and it says several documents relating to the allotment of land to Associated Journals Limited were not traceable because all these records have been destroyed in the 2012 fire that took place in the Mantralaya. Even though the impugned land was reserved for a hostel of SC/ST as per the detailed proposals of 1967, the land was allotted by the then government to Associated Journals Limited for commercial purpose, ignoring all the existing rules and regulations. So ladies and gentlemen, 3,478 square meters of land meant for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe students and a hostel for them educating our Dalits in this country. That land has been given to Associated Journals, and this was taken in 1983 at throwaway prices. Now even in the rules it exists that in 2 years you have to construct the building of the hostel. In 1983 they get the land. Till 2000 there was absolutely no construction done. For 17 years no construction done, and then construction is done of a commercial property. The commercial property then is used for rentals and various other things. 20,000 square feet of commercial property is allowed to be built on this land, but they built about 80,000, 4 times that amount. And also, in a special dispensation, the revenue share in a commercial land given to the Congress Party's Associated Journal should have been about 50% to the revenue share to be given to the government and 50% to Associated Journal through a special dispensation for a special project of the special Gandhis. This was brought down to 30% revenue share. These are absolutely out of the way favors given to Associated Journals. Let me go across to my colleague Poonam, who's joining me from our newsroom. She is well versed in Marathi, and this is the report of the Chatterjee committee, the one-man committee. This report will be translated by Poonam to us. So Poonam, take us through what exactly does this report say?
Right, Navika, I'm just going to take you through the excerpts of what this release says. I'm going to translate it very quickly for our viewers. This talks about Samitita Nishkarsh, which means this is the summary of what that one-man panel actually found in this entire matter. It talks about Bukand Vatap, which is the land allotment which was given to AJL. It talks about how in 1967 नुसार सदर भूकंप सार्वजनिक कार्यालय व मार्गशीर्षासाठी व्यवस्थितगृह यासाठी आरक्षित होता, which means in 1967 this particular land which was given to AJL, this land was allotted, was meant to build a hostel for SC STs. That particular land was then given to AJL by the Jiladhikari in 1983. That is what the panel has found. It talks about समितीचा निष्कर्ष या उल्लेखानुसार शासनाने केलेले 6 आदेश निर्मितीनुसार ज्याबाबत बांधकामासाठी मुद्दे देताना 1957च्या शासन निर्मितीस दंड केल्याने आणि म्हणून मुद्दाविधेत नियमाचे किंवा आर्थिक नुकसान झाले असता म्हणतात येत नाही. So they talk about how this land was really given in 1983 to AJL. In 57 is when they decided that this is what is going to be allotted to build a hostel there. Whether or not there was any economic loss, any financial loss to the exchequer with the fact that this land was given for commercial use rather than using it for a hostel, that needs to be probed. That's what Navika, this report talks about, and that is what the summary of really this one-man panel commission was, that whether or not if there was a financial loss, then that needs to be further investigated.
Poonam, this is an out of the turn allotment, and if I can ask my camera person to actually focus on this entire report that has been given by this committee, which is signed in, it says, and let me take you through to all the concessions that have been given. Number one, a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe hostel land is given to associated journals. That's concession number one. Concession number two, what happens is that this is given at a throwaway price because this is government land. Then the usage is changed and it becomes a commercial land. That's another concession given. And in the commercial land, instead of 20,000 square feet construction that is allowed, 80,000 square feet construction is allowed. 4 times the amount, 400% construction, excess construction is allowed. That's concession number 4. Concession number 5, revenue share with the government should have been 50%, and that is brought down through a special dispensation to 30% in this case. Why? Because it is the Gandhis that are involved. And I would like our associates on the desk to actually put out these concessions, because this is one concession after another that is given to this land. Also, let me tell you, as per Article 31 of the Government Land Disposal Act 1971, the allotment of land for industrial and commercial use can only be done through auction or tender process. But in this case, no auction, no tender process is undergone. It is given on a reserve price basis to the associated journals, and this is concession number 6 that we are seeing. Also, 17 years, no construction is done. When there is a ceiling of 2 years, if you do not construct, then the land is taken back. Here 17 years there was no construction that was done, yet no penalty was charged. In fact, the entire penalty was written off. Another concession that comes in. Then it's also the Article 31 of the Government Land Disposal Act that says 50% revenue share should be shared with the government, and it hasn't been done. Only 30% has been shared. And the government of Maharashtra has also waived off interest payments of about 3 crore rupees, which was supposed to be paid, because after all, it is the Gandhi's land. Why should they pay any interest to anybody? Because government is Gandhi's, Gandhi's is government. That seems to be the approach. Let me get in our reporters on the ground. Let me get in Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan, who's joining this broadcast. Madhav, new dispensation, Gandhis get Dalit land, and this is the land consolidation that continues to go on. And Bhavtosh Singh joining me on the broadcast. Bhavtosh, the Enforcement Directorate has attached this property. This property belonged to the associated journals, and of course, the allegations, the loot continues. And in this case, the fact of the matter is that this is, this has been admitted in an appeal of the Young Indian for the assessment year 2011-2012 as the value of the land. So the Gandhis can't dispute this any longer.
Yes, Navika. In fact, if you see, there are very telltale signs are very similar to what happened in Panchkula property. Even then, properties, expensive real estate was given to Associate Generals Private Limited for publication of newspaper National Herald, which was never published for decades and only started publishing once Enforcement Directorate and Income Tax started investigating. What is very clear is the fact that prime properties, whether it's in Panchkula or in Mumbai, was given to Associate Generals Private Limited, which was then used by Young India to sell off these properties, to sublet these properties for commercial purpose. In this particular case, what is most intriguing is the fact that once Income Tax Department started searching for documents and also the records, they were told that all documents related to this property were in fact destroyed in a fire. Now, in May of this year, the Enforcement Directorate provisionally attached this property, claiming that rupees 16.38 crores was the proceeds of crime. Now, ED has said that over a period of time in several parts of the country, whether it's in Delhi or in Mumbai or in Panchkula, Associate General Private Limited got expensive real estate, and subsequently the chief ministers of those states overlooked any points that were raised by bureaucrats. In case of Panchkula, it was said that Bhupendra Hooda never even looked into the official warnings that were given by officials from the Haryana Urban Development Authority, and that's the reason why Motilal Vora and others, including Gandhis, are under the scanner of Enforcement Directorate. This report clearly established that commercial property was in fact given to Associate Private General Limited, which then flouted all rules by constructing over 4 times the
Bhavtosh, what is important is that in 1983, when this land is given, and let me also get in Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan. Madhav, when this land is given, it is land reserved for Dalits for building a hostel for the backward classes, for the Dalit classes, and this land is given away to the Gandhis, to the Associated Journal, without an auction. No auction, no tender process, and the land is just given. Then for 17 years, there is no construction on that particular plot of land. When the construction takes place, allowed limit is 20,000 square feet. They construct 80,000 square feet. There is no penalty that is charged. And then they go on to give a revenue share, which is a special case because this deals with the special Gandhis. The revenue share is not 50%, but 30%. Does this not stink of a special dispensation for the Gandhis this time in their land scam, even taking away Dalit land? And when they stand up for elections, it is Dalits, the downtrodden, that comes out of the Nyay scheme of the Gandhis and the Congress party?
Well, Navika, there is, the bending of rules, and then there is throwing of the rule book completely out of the window. This appears to be a clear case of the latter, because while, you may claim that all citizens are equal, clearly in this particular case, it seems that the Gandhis are far more equal than others, because the kind of dispensations that have been made for them, seems to be a joke, because almost 4 decades later, with this truth now coming out, it seems that regime after regime did nothing but actually aid this particular, sort of land grab, if we can call it that, of the Gandhis. As you rightly put it, one, of course, is the political positioning that has been taken by the Gandhi family and the Congress party vis-a-vis, standing up for the rights of scheduled castes in this country. So what explains this particular land grab, particularly of a hostel, which was meant for the purpose of the betterment of those members or youth coming in from the scheduled caste? Point number 1. Point number 2, if 20,000 square feet is all that has been permitted, what actually allows, not a minor deviation. It's not like it was 21 or 22, but 4 times the actual amount. That is the deviation over here. And that really comes into question about what the authorities were doing at that time. Why did they not wake up and take adequate action when there was so much of twisting of rules, and even other regimes that came in over there? Why did they not act adequately in time? That is, of course, a very serious question that must be posed to all regimes that have existed since then. And then, of course, as you said, a regularization fee that is paid much later, raising some serious questions as to what really was going on. We know that how the Gandhi family has been in power for several decades in the state, and really, of course, raising serious questions about whether there was collusion and looking the other way, regime after regime. One could even call it looking the other way if there was no active dispensation given to them. But here in this case, records very clearly prove, and this report very clearly proves, that there was a very clear attempt at allowing them to continue despite these violations, and that's where this matter becomes so serious. Navika.
Well, let me just take our viewers across the way this entire procedure of allotment went on, and we've translated this report of the Chatterjee Committee into English, and let me show you here. It says on 20th August 1983, the Revenue and Forest Department notification gave the Gandhis, or actually at 950 square meters is approved, and this land is taken from the Social Welfare Department. The Social Welfare Department is the department that is entrusted with welfare of Dalits, but now it's engaged in welfare of the Associated Journals, which everybody knows is a Gandhi property. Now, on 20th August 1983, 20 installments are to be paid is what is decided. The additional collector of Mumbai gives away in 11 days the allotment letter. 23.4 lakh is the amount at which this land is sold. 23 lakhs for 3,000 square meters of land. And then it goes on to say that in 2 years construction should be completed, and the plot can only be used for the purpose in which it is allotted, which was the purpose of a SC/ST hostel. Cannot be used for any other purpose. And then it says the first installment was paid, the additional collector issued the land allotment, and then suddenly in 21st September the Revenue Department says we have some extra land, and this extra land, 823 square meters, should also be given to the same people, whilst one part of the department says it should be given to LIG, which is Lower Income Group Housing Society. The department somehow comes around to the view कि नहीं, गरीब लोगों को क्या देना है, गांधीज को दे देते हैं, एसोसिएटेड जर्नल्स को दे देते हैं. And then this 823 square meters extra land available in survey number 341 is also allotted to Associated Journal Limited over and above the 2400 square kilometers. And then a 39,000 rupee assignment is done to this. It's paid. Then the reservation of land is after that changed. Very conveniently, next year, the land reservation for Dalit hostel is changed and it becomes commercial use. This is absolutely convenient. And let me go back to Bhavtosh Singh. 1983, first land of 2400 square meters allotted, then suddenly 823 square meters more becomes available, and then following year the land use is changed from Dalit hostel, it becomes a commercial use. Isn't this a very, very convenient way of transferring land to the Gandhis?
Yes, Navika, in fact, that's what the investigations of Income Tax and Enforcement Directorate have revealed, that expensive real estate, whether it's in Mumbai or it's in Panchkula, in Delhi, Patna and Lucknow, were given to Associate Generals Private Limited. They did not even carry out the construction for years. In case of Bandra, the construction never started for 17 years. The land was given in 1983. Then for 17 years, no construction took place. Whereas the rule book says that within 2 years you have to start the construction. Then more importantly, the subletting of a prime real estate to others, taking rent from them. This was not mentioned, and that for these very reason, Income Tax have assessed the income of Rahul Gandhi at around 158 crore rupees for financial year 2011-2012, and Gandhi's in fact went against this order of Income Tax in the Supreme Court, where the matter is pending. The fact is, the entire manner in which Associate General's shares were purchased by Young India for a paltry sum of 50 lakh rupees. Now, Associate General's initially was given a bogus loan of around 90 crore rupees from Congress party, and then subsequently over 9 crore shares on the face value of 10 rupees were purchased by Young India. The trustees of Young India, everyone knows, are Gandhis, and that's the reason.
Bhavtosh, we seem to have some audio problem with your link. Let me go across to Kajal Iyer, who is joining me from Bandra. She's just outside this Associated Journals Limited plot, and in fact the construction that has been done there. Kajal, just show our viewers this land, which was acquired at an initial rate of 23 lakh rupees, and then another 39,000 rupees were paid, and by the end of 2000 the records show that they have paid 41 lakh rupees to acquire this whole building. Let's take a look at that. Kajal, just take us through that.
Quite unbelievable the amount is. In fact, if I show you the entire building, this is bang next to the Western Express Highway, and the property rates in this area are exponential. This is the AJL house. It's a 5 to 6 story building, a commercial building, as you can see. It has been attached by the ED as part of the proceedings, and that is why it is empty right now. But this is prime property. It is unlikely that it would cost 41 lakhs, because in 41 lakhs you would not even get a one-room kitchen in Mumbai. So unlikely that this could be the price for this land. This is a commercial premise, and you can see the bold lettering AJL house written here. As you have been reporting, there were certain irregularities that were committed in getting this building okayed for the Congress. There were also certain delays that had come up in the construction, because the BMC initially had not given certain permissions to this building, but all of those were eventually papered over somehow or the other, and here is this building standing right in front of you. Very, very prime locality. In fact, so posh that this is just about 500 meters away from the Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's Kalanagar residence.